So moved. Motion to open the public portion.
Move that we open the meeting for the public portion.
Second. Public portion is now open. Please, for those who wish to speak,
I'll move.
state your name and address.
149 Clinton Street, Paterson, New Jersey.
What's your name, spelling, please?
Sarah
That's good.
Billie.
B-I-L-L-I-E,
Yes.
address, ma'am?
149 Clinton Street.
Thank you.
I'm basically here on behalf of the Passaic County Post as well. Basically, we are planning to do a little bit more in terms of what the MUA does in the city. So I'll probably be attending more meetings here, and I'll probably be working with Eric Lowe. So, what we're doing is we're doing a story on all the city departments, and a lot of people does not know what the MUA stand for, what they represent. We did a polling, so this is the second agency that we're starting with to inform the residents in the.
Okay, next.
Dave Gilmore, Paterson. Couple of items. Upon reviewing the minutes, I don't see any references here to one of the items that we spoke about at the last meeting, which was basically upon discussion, the request came from the chairman to the board to start developing some procedure in terms of grant funding or giving monies out. And it was at that point that the council said it was not permissible, nor any statutory provisions provided that monies could be given from this public entity to anybody. Monies were then to be funneled back to the city. That it was not permissible, I believe was his word. It's not in the minutes. So I would suggest that the minutes be amended to reflect that that conversation was had, and that those provisions for granting funds to outside agencies is not permissible by the council's conversation in the last meeting. Secondly, I'd also like to bring up from October's meeting, I believe it was, when Mr. Mark Lazaris was here accompanied with me, discussing the need to get a final on the India trip and or a reporting of the funds that were spent by the MUA and what was the benefit back to Paterson and or the MUA from the expenditure going forward. It was then said at that time that a report would be forthcoming in either November or December. This is now January, and we still don't have a report, not only here, but at the city as well, that the MUA funds paid for not only the chairman, but the mayor as well to go to India. We would like to know when in fact, and this was in June, when in fact a report is coming, or was this just an expenditure to subsidize a vacation? Because we have no report to date. So obviously we're looking for that, and it still has not arrived. Lastly, we also requested at the last meeting through Oprah far in excess of the time frame required to respond the 2 previous years' Jazz Festival receipts. I did receive the completed request after the meeting for the other information that had not been received by email, but it is now in excess of several weeks beyond compliance time regarding the reports of the 2 previous years' Jazz Festival receipts. So I'd like to find out what's going on with that through the chair.
I do apologize. It is my fault that you do not have that information. Unfortunately, due to the holiday season, the fact that I have been sick and I'm currently still sick, have not been in the office. However, those Oprah requests will be completed definitely by the end of the weekend. turn it over to our attorney to get to you. And give my sincerest apologies to that.
And what about the other item in terms of the accounting of the funds not being permissibly spent for outside agency activities?
Mr. Chair, if I may, it's in the minutes under the chairman's report. It's noted in the minutes.
It is? Well, if it is, I apologize because I just received it just now. I didn't have the opportunity to review it. Well, it does say that it was restricted, yes. Well, that's a good thing, because I wanted to report on that in as much as if it was restricted now, it certainly was restricted when in fact the monies were given to Reverend Clayton and others back then.
You mean the city's recreation department?
No, I'm talking about the money that was given for the school.
Also,
$5,000.
also $25,000 was given to the recreation department.
I'm not addressing that. I'm addressing one thing. If you want to address it, well, you can address it separately. But the one I'm addressing specifically, as I see, appears to be dovetailed into the restriction, is the $5,000 that was given to the school. The monies that you're talking or referencing in terms of going to the recreation department probably would have been going to the city anyway, but I don't know that if the process was circumvented by giving it directly, that's something that someone else would have to determine. So we're talking in total 30,000, 5,000 of which I'm concerned with as a grant that was never given the opportunity to anyone else to participate. That's still an issue. That no one else was given an opportunity, notified, and could participate in the process of this grant funding. The other went to the city. So
Well, I'd just like to comment. Of course, I was not on the MUA at that time. However, I think since you opened this by talking about what council advised us of, I think if in fact there are questions about what may have happened with that $5,000, certainly we are grateful to our council for letting us know and advising us that we should be cautious in terms of this request that had come up to us regarding the
Silk City.
Silk City. So we can't go back, and you certainly brought that up a number of times about this $5,000, but certainly we will not make the same mistakes twice.
And as much as I appreciate Commissioner McDaniel, yeah, I'm trying to not call you by your first name. Commissioner McDaniel, you were not here, and maybe if you had been here, it might have been a different outcome. But in terms of going back, I don't know how much that can be done in terms of going back, other than the fact that some sort of a finding or some sort of a remedy, or even, if you will, another term that's not very often applied, consequence, be brought forward in doing that. You just can't do what you want, and this is not what we are here for. And there's a fiduciary responsibility to maintain in the public trust and funds, and that's why we as a public advocate come here to make those statements. So I don't know what can be done in the past, but we're certainly not going to let it be forgotten. That's not going to happen.
There's no photography here, sir. You wanna put that down, please?
And you will.
Well, this will be interesting because we will be researching legal precedent in terms of it, because it's a public meeting.
That's what I thought.
It's a public meeting.
I don't win in the
And
courtroom with this
where-
camera.
That's where we're going to stand on. It's a public.
I don't win in the
and
courtroom with this
where-
camera.
That's where we're going to stand on. It's a public meeting.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Gilmore.
Yes, ma'am.
Certainly, we don't want to trample on anybody's rights, yours, the public's, or mine.
Right.
Why is it so critical to record the MUA?
Well, because first of all, there's a lot of things that happen here that are very suspect.
Motion to close.
So moved.
Moving second, all in favor?